Why won't prices drop? What's causing them to go up? And why is there such a demand for houses? What's up, everyone? This is Wayne Turner. If you're like me, you can't help but wonder what in the world is going on with the future of our economy, especially when it comes to real estate. Living my life as a real estate broker now for 25 years, I can't help but have an opinion. The good news is I've seen enough to have a pretty good opinion. But what is your opinion of that?
What do you think?
That reminds me, like and subscribe to our channel, and please leave a comment and let us know what you like about the video, what else you would like to hear about future videos. Listen, there's no denying it. We've seen 9, 12, 14, even 24% increase in home values in some cities. The shortage of homes, coupled with the disruption in the supply chain to build more homes and the demand for homes, and you basically get the perfect storm for what we're seeing today is some of the highest increase in property values in decades. So what's up with 2022? When will the prices go down? To start, let's just blame it on the pandemic, right? But in all seriousness, the pandemic jammed up the supply chain, which basically slowed down and paused the purchasing train. Yeah, I meant for that to rhyme. That's good.
So funny.
Now imagine a plane or a train taking off. And listen, I use this analogy because just like a train or plane takes a lot of energy, so does moving this economy. It takes a ton of energy to move our entire world economy. And this world is a very big train, and it's not firing on all cylinders in the same direction at the same time at this moment in time. But what does that have to do with home prices and everything going up? So go with me here. The world literally stopped. The world stopped. And as people began to get back to some normality, they began to purchase homes as a means of being normal. And they also began purchasing boats and cars and motor homes, and you get it. So many homeowners refinanced their houses. And when they refinanced their houses, they refinanced and pulled cash out. They put pools in the backyard. They bought RVs and motor homes, and basically putting a pool in the backyard to basically vacation at home, and motor homes and RVs so they wouldn't have to book hotels and travel and that sort of thing, you know? Now, before the pandemic, there was plenty of inventory of houses on the market for sale. But as things began to roll, not all things began to roll at the same time. You see, the supply chain shortage caused the process of manufacturing goods to slow down. And when you had a slowdown, you had less goods being manufactured and produced, and therefore created a higher demand. And of course, when the demand is higher than the supply, prices go up. It's the basis of economics. Listen, when the demand is high, prices go up. When the supply is low, prices go up. When there is a huge abundance of anything, prices go down. Which leads me to answer the long-awaited question. Why won't home prices go down? The answer, drum roll please, because the supply is lower than the demand for homes on the market. The supply is shorter than the demand for homes. Okay. You're probably asking, but when will they go down? When will prices go down? When the inventory is balanced to meet the demand. So right now it's like a seesaw. So you have lots of buyers, no houses, or you have lots of houses, no buyers. And you have a seller's market and a buyer's market. So when does it plane off? Well, quite simply, we need more inventory to the market. So how will this happen? The Federal Reserve met and they basically said the economy is moving at such a rapid pace, we've got to slow this thing down. We've got to put the brakes on it. How do they do that? They're going to raise interest rates, and as of right now, they're probably going to have 3, maybe 4 interest rate increases over the next year throughout the 2022 year. They're saying they're not going to print and do any more stimulus checks, but who knows? Even that can change.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
But I have to say, we will not see a slowing of the economy overnight. Just as this takes a lot of energy for this big train we call the world to get rolling, it takes a while for it to slow down.
Things go through.
I can't slow down!
So how long? 12 to 16 months? But that's what we want to happen. We don't want a sudden stop. We want 12 to 16 months, so it's a gradual shift back to some normality, if you will. A sudden stop in the economy can basically create what I call horribilization, almost panic. People tend to freeze. So it has to be a gradual process to slow things down. You know, it's no different than what seemed to happen overnight. All of a sudden, it's like everybody wants everything, like cars and houses and bread and beef, and everything's going up, right? But that didn't happen overnight. That was a 12 to a 14-month process, and it's going to be that same process for us to, for the reins to get kind of pulled back and slow things down. And listen, Zillow, Fox News, MSNBC, the National Association of Realtors, they're all predicting over this next 2022 year, and this is not just my opinion, but I mean, you can physically see it in my world, but they're all predicting double digits.
Are you kidding me?
So this is what you have to look at. You have to look at the cost of the money. You have to look at the availability of the money. When you do a mortgage calculator, and you can go to Google and put in mortgage calculations and type in, if you put 5% down on a $400,000 house or a $300,000 house, what your mortgage payment's going to be. They even have it now where they'll calculate your taxes and insurance and PMI and all that stuff based on your location if you allow the, it'll ping your IP address. You get all of that. But the point I'm trying to make is the money, the cost of the money is so cheap. It's 3.25%. Here we are, 2022, and to be able to purchase something, a $200,000 house, you're looking $1,200 a month. You can't go rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment hardly for $1,200 a month. Now here's what's really cool. In addition to all of that, you can basically buy a house, and if you're watching this, if you've never owned a home before, you got to think about it this way. You can buy a house for 3.5% down. Most real estate brokerage companies and firms and agents they can negotiate for you on your behalf to get the seller to pay for your closing cost. That allows you to purchase a property for only 3.5% down. You can do the math on a $200,000 house. Now, what's really cool is there's programs such as RD, which stands for Rural Development, and Rural Development is United States Department of Agriculture, and what they do is they guarantee the loan. So they actually give you the down payment money. You have to qualify. You have to have a 620 or higher credit score, 2 years on the job, but they basically give you the money for the down payment. The seller pays your closing cost, and that's how people all around the country, and this is all over the place in every state, and you can purchase a home for no money out of pocket. The fact is, home prices may not ever go down. Think about that. Ask your parents or your grandparents what they paid for their house in the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. My mom and dad's first house was like 50 grand. My first house was $79,500. Everything goes up, real estate especially. And I tell people, when you buy, you want to stay, you want to hold, you want to stay in it for the long haul. If you're buying and flipping property, you're going to make some cash. Trust me, it's just a matter of time. The more you make, the more they take. You're going to have to start having some diversification in your portfolio. Otherwise, you're going to pay a ton of money in taxes. But in my opinion, the fact that people think that, well, if a home increases in value for a year or two, and then they're going to raise the interest rates, and by raising the interest rates, it's going to put a freeze on everything, and then they're going to have to come down. And look, I've seen it all, but I can tell you that more than likely, we're not going to see a drastic drop in home prices. I just don't think it's going to happen. And look, to wrap things up, it's impossible to predict what the future may hold. We can look at all this data, we can look at all this information, we can look at all of the statistical numbers, but at the end of the day, we must not forget that sometimes history just kind of tends to repeat itself. Until next time, we'll see you.